maybe, I don't know. Let's try one more shot in here. Oh, that's right at it. Wow. If that would have just skidded over and stood up, this might have had 1 million views on TikTok. What's up, guys? Brunsnick's back. It's time to introduce the Hammer Anger. Now, the Anger has that modified infamous core, higher RG, with that Semtex solid cover. Now, I can't wait to see what this one does out on the lanes for me with SPECTO running, of course. But before we get to all that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, let's see what Anger Solid is all about. All right, time to get angry. Not really. We're just going to talk about it. Anger bowling ball. Now, talk about this core. The modified infamous core, very high RG, 2.56 differential 049 with that Semtex solid cover finished at 500 2000. Now, we already have a Hammerhead in the Hammer line, which kind of fit that benchmark roll. So where does Anger fit in, right? It's another benchmark type bowling ball with a much higher RG. How much is that going to translate on the lanes? I'm going to find out. I have SPECTO running, and of course I'm bowling on crown jewel pattern, everybody's favorite house shot. Whole bunch of oil in the middle, dry to the outside. So let's get this video started. Start it out, move it in. Start on 15. And let's see. This kind of has arson. Was it arson? Or is it arson low flare? That was before my hammer time, but it looks just like this ball. I think they got the color codes just right on this one. Nice little throwback for hammerheads out there. Looks cool. I mean, I can see why that arson a long time ago was a good ball and very sought after by a lot of hammer fans. Cool looking, and that ball just kind of blended all in, all these three colors. Yeah, this is a hammer ball for sure. Pretty good flare. All right, so let's talk about that higher RG, right? So is it gonna give me more length? Is that what you want from a benchmark? Maybe if you have a little less speed, that's where Anger comes in, as opposed to, you know, picking like Hammerhead. So maybe I'll compare the two because I'm curious. I love the Hammerhead, and now we got Anger Solid, which kind of fits in the same range of performance. Uh-oh. Why would I say uh-oh? Why would I say that? Like I was genuinely concerned like that ball wasn't gonna hook. Well, I think with any higher RG ball, and on the spectrum of high RG performance bowling balls, this is about as high as it gets. You really have to go like thick shell, or you have to go like low end stuff to really find a ball with this kind of high RG out there. Pretty good amount of flare. Looks like it's coming to here, starting here. Probably about 5-inch flare, somewhere in there. Starting differential 049. Maybe it picks up a couple points, but maybe, I don't know. Let's try one more shot in here. Oh, that's right at it. Wow. If that would have just skidded over and stood up, this might have had 1 million views on TikTok. I would have clipped that and put it on TikTok, 1 million views easy, right? But thankfully, that thing fell over by the good graces. I missed left on that shot by quite a bit. I had just enough to slap out that 10 pin. So now we must move out of that zone. I've conquered it. I did not miss. Well, I missed a lot of times, but the end results were fantastic. And as a degenerate bowler like myself, that's all I care about. End result, right? We don't care about process here. Oh no. Okay, I can't miss that much. Can't miss in and keep the same launch angle as when you're playing further out. That just doesn't track, folks. All right, maybe we'll think about the process a little bit more instead of just getting 10 in the pit, because that's what happens. You get your mind out of it, you start worrying about, oh, I gotta throw a strike. It's like, no, you just gotta make a good shot. If the pins fall, they fall. Just don't make shots like that. All right, redo. All I gotta do is give it a little swing. That almost held, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. Is it? Yep. Huh. That thing just turns over. That ball's angry. So, For a down and in ball, for not playing a lot of angle, it has a lot of hit at the end. Good roll. You know, you never know sometimes if the ball is going to have any kind of back end or flip hard or just kind of roll, be tumbly with the high RG, you know, non-HK cover. But this thing is plenty good at playing the straighter angles. One more shot here, yeah? That's right in the middle. Pins are flying up. Get those pins up in the air. All right, 2 zones down. Minus that bad shot, I think we got something with this anger. Solid. Now the first anger had HK22 on it, shinier pearly ball, and for me it was hard to control. It was pretty flippy, but I wasn't sure when it wanted to move. This ball with the solid cover, I'm moving 5 by the way, ain't a 25. With the solid cover non-HK, really blends it out, brings the break point a little closer to me, a little easier to control. That's a great shot. What do you got? What do you know? Hammer's got another winner on their hands. You know, everybody sees Hammer on the high end. Black Widows, Effects, Envies, Effector, all that good stuff. But right in the middle, I know everybody knows the vibe, but right in the middle, there's a lot of good bowling balls that are just chilling. The people that throw them know how good they are, but they don't have that same kind of sales figure as like Black Widow. I gotta go get my ball back. Got that back. We might have had a special appearance by a fellow coworker. I don't know why he's here. Sunday morning. It's Father's Day. Go enjoy. Where was I? 25? Sure. Sounds right. Was I on 25? Lost track. Let's do this again. Hold. Hold. Ah. All right. It is aggressive. Doesn't mess around. It's not a ball to be playing the shim like that. You need to give it a little bit more launch angle. Give it a little bit more room to hook. Needs room to breathe, as I say. Have I said it? I don't know. I'm starting to say it now, aren't I? Let's throw one more shot in here. Let's give it a little bit more launch angle. Let's get it out to like, I don't know, somewhere between, I don't know, 5 and 10. How about that? It's a pretty fantastic ball. Now the question's gonna come in, once we start moving even further left, is this ball gonna be able to continue to get back to the pins? Typically with bowling balls like this, I don't play Hammerhead that much angle, but for these reviews, I test them because I am very curious. I wanna know if it can do it or if it's just not enough. And if it's not enough, that's okay, because there are other bowling balls in the line that can do it. All right, let's move 30. We are now 15 left from where we began this party, this anger party. That's got to hook a lot. Ah, come on, weirdest messenger. I have no idea what pin that would have been had it knocked it over, but that's okay. Sent it out pretty far wide. It's one of those things where miss left, I'm sorry, move left, miss right. Great combination, right? Pin in the channel. If I was a PBA member, this would be a big no-no. You can't bowl with the pin in the channel. But no longer am I. Let's see if it helps me or hurts me on this one. I don't know, judges? I'd say it didn't matter either way. That 9 pin had it coming though, didn't it? And if that would have stood up after getting knocked, I might have cried on camera. And if I would have cried on camera, I probably would have got a lot of sympathy subscribers. So please subscribe anyway. Just one more shot in here before we move it in even further. That thing hooked on the back. That's good. What a shot. Pretty confident with this ball. Pretty confident. I think the higher RG does help with backhand motion that maybe I didn't see with Hammerhead, where with the lower RG, it kind of, you know, rolls a little bit more. It's what it's meant to do, lower RG. But as I move in, now it's starting to come off that spot hard. Let's try another one there. Once again, we're at 30. With a not so favorable open rack. Oh, I missed in. All right, same thing applies there as kind of earlier in the video, is don't be afraid to launch this ball. I think in the back of my mind, maybe subconsciously, I'm just like, don't get it out too far wide right. You know, maybe that one shot where I really leaked it right, still in my head, I don't know. But this ball will get back. It seems very unassuming on paper, but it has plenty on the back. Maybe that bad rack just messed me up. Now I got a good one. Let's get this going. Better. Yeah, just throw it. How many times have you heard that? You know, you start getting in your own head. Like, come on, just throw the ball. You know how to, just do it, throw it. So we got one more zone to go here. We'll be 20 left, all the way left. Into 35. And now we'll see, thinking 10 pin. Ring and 10. Pin's leaning. I think that pin in the front's got a broken base. We're gonna have to swap that out. Hey, if it's leaning that way, you just gotta play the rack, right? I'm not ashamed to know Brooklyn, but I will make a better shot than that because y'all deserve it. And I truly wanna see if this will go through the pins. All right, let's get the launch angle up. Not the first time I've Brooklyned in a video though. I think maybe my old age is catching up to me now. I just can't launch the ball far right anymore. Yes, I can. Ah! Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Or just kind of, you know, a little lazy hit. I think if I launch it like that, maybe get the speed down, I can get it through the pins. But another messenger that just wasn't so. All right, one more shot in the zone, then we're gonna move back right. There, that's softer. Ah, all right. Not quite the zone for that ball. And I had a feeling, you know, this symmetrical solid, especially higher RG, non-HK, I don't know. Could I make it work? Probably. On a fresh pattern, do I need to be there? No, absolutely not. So I'm gonna move it back, 15. So I'm gonna get on the big dot. We're gonna throw this last shot, wrap up this video. That's home base right there. Well, hope you learned something about this Anger Solid. I sure did. Do I think it has a place in the hammer line alongside balls like Hammerhead? I absolutely do. I think this ball has a little bit more back end, a little cleaner, a little sharper on the back. So that's all for Anger Solid. And please subscribe, check out the crew, all new merch on Inside Bowling. See you guys on the next video. Please subscribe.